Hey boys and girls, welcome to another super exciting, outrageous toy review. Today we're taking a look at the odds and ends of my Monsters in My Pocket collection. I've got some foreign variants, I've got some monsters, or not really monsters, from later on series of Monsters in My Pocket. So if you've seen our previous videos, we've had Series 1 that had a lot of classic monsters. Series 2 still had a few classic monsters, but it got a little stranger. Series 3 we mentioned in one of the other videos. Series 3 wasn't really a mainstream release. Series 3 were extremely rare in the US. They're supposedly more common in Canada. I'm not sure where all else. Right here I have the monster that came with the NES Nintendo game. He's one of the few that was kind of sort of widely released in the US, but only if you bought the game. The rest of the figures came in kids' meals at Bob's Big Boys or in cereal type products in Canada. There was a list that I've been able to find of several monsters, but only 9 were ever released in that promotional series. So Series 3 is definitely the smallest and rarest set out there, it seems like, although some of the later series do become very uncommon as well. But then the Super Scaries came out, and those were bigger and more monstrous, and they were glow in the dark, and they added paint apps and all kinds of crazy stuff. So after that, we had Super Creepies, which were bugs, moths, spiders, beetles, all that kind of stuff. Big, clunky, kind of cartoony. I don't have any of those. And then after that, they moved on to Dinosaurs in My Pockets. Again, not really monsters, but still kind of fun toys, I guess. And I have a bunch of them here. This is the T-Rex from the series. These again have paint apps, kind of like the Super Scaries do. They're a little bit bigger. The Ankylosaurus is pretty cool. Patasaurus. So these are fun. They did remold all of these later on as secret skeleton dinosaurs. And you can see that there's bones printed on them, sort of. You know, it's faint. But when you dip them in cold water, the bones show up. So it was like a re-release or a repaint refresh. After the dinosaurs, we got aliens. Monster Aliens in My Pocket. Very strange, much smaller line. These are like weird, roided out people and dinosaur aliens and other strange, goofy things. And the big difference here is that they have like sculpted in weapons. That was not really anything really the monsters had before. But like this guy, this is Blasters of the Universe. He's got guns in his hand and strapped to his back. He's got some paint apps, and the weird thing on these guys is they have the rub sign. If you collect Transformers, you know about the rub sign. It's heat sensitive, and if I rub this thing for a second, the little symbol on his back shows up that tells me he's a good guy, and it also gives me his point value. It says he's worth 275 points. His series goes up to 500 points, so the aliens blow the original monsters out of the water when it comes to the whole game thing, but I'm not really sure the game was meant to be played between series. I also have a monster wrestler in my pocket here. Again, another later season. Tony the Tiger was actually a wrestling coach through a serial premium, and there were a whole bunch of these guys. I don't think it was quite as small as the Aliens series. After the wrestlers in my pockets, we got sports stars in my pocket. There was a Tony the Tiger figure again as a coach for the sports stars. They were most commonly available in the UK through a serial promotion, but they also sold the monsters separately. For the Sports Stars, the final series of Monsters in My Pocket was Monster Ninja Warriors in My Pocket. And these were, again, figures. They looked like ninjas, and they actually had removable accessories. Those do appear to be very rare online. I don't own one, obviously. But it's kind of an interesting series. I don't know why they went that direction. The company, at some point, Matchbox did sell off the Monster in My Pocket brand, and so a different company was doing the wrestlers and sports stars and ninjas. So, you know, it wasn't the same vision probably at that point. I do also have some international type monsters in my pocket here to show you guys. As I mentioned, you know, some of these things were more common in the UK or in Canada. I actually have this blind bag here from China. So in China, you could get individual monsters in my pocket in this little sealed bag. When you opened it up, it had a little card that showed a few of the monsters, and on the back had a checklist with a whole bunch. And they had some unique colors in China. So I have this really bright yellow monster, or Mad Scientist from Series 1. This purplish mauve burgundy skeleton. I have a bright orange beast. And a kind of strange green winged panther. So those are all Chinese monsters. I have a box over here actually from Series 1, and this seems to be German. It does actually have a couple languages on it, but it talks about the legend of the Monsters in My Pocket, I guess, or the story of Monsters in My Pocket. And the pamphlet inside actually is a little interesting. The American pamphlets were long strips, and this is still sort of that, but it's a double row. So it definitely has a little bit of a different look to it than the American pamphlets. I don't have any German monsters, but I have a box. And I think the last monster I have here is actually a UK version of the Super Scaries. In the UK, there were actually a very common thing for them to make Super Scaries that weren't painted. In fact, I actually talked to somebody online one time who said he didn't know they painted them at all. He grew up in the UK and only had unpainted Super Scaries. So this is Yama. He's one of the 100 pointers that was a glow-in-the-dark figure here in the US. And I actually just found him at a toy show recently and just thought it was really fun to have, you know, that unique original Monster in My Pocket aesthetic. Oh, and I almost forgot him because he's so tiny. This is a little tiny werewolf from Peru. And you can see compared to the other Series 1 monsters, he's scaled down maybe about half the size. He has a lot less detail, and he's a little bit less squishy. He does have his 25-point thing on the back, and it actually looks like it's about the same size as the 25 points on the bigger monster. So they must have like re-etched that into the mold whenever they shrunk it down somehow. He is missing some detail. It's a little bit squished on his face, kind of. But it's just sort of an interesting variant. I don't know if they released all the monsters in that little size or if that was some sort of special promotion or if that's how they all came. In the comments below, let me know if you have any of the more unusual Monsters in My Pocket. Thanks for watching this super exciting, outrageous toy review. Make sure to like, subscribe, and check out our other videos. Hey boys and girls, I'm really sorry I can't find my Asvenbina monster that I bought for $1 when I was in high school. I've torn my house apart, but I do have something really awesome to share with you for the end of this video. At RetroCon, I was able to pick up 2 very rare Series 3 Monsters in My Pockets. The Leviathan, who has awesome scale details sculpted into him. The Abominable Snowman, to keep Bigfoot from Series 1 company. And abandoned for the last video.